Enthusiast. Oh my gosh, we made it to season 7. I am absolutely excited that this podcast has been going this long. I was a little bummed initially, I'm not going to lie. I had a very, very special episode recorded for you all to hear. It featured myself and the one and only Jaybird from the original lineup of our guest hosts when I first started this podcast so many years ago. It sounds actually kind of weird to say, and I am grateful for all the listeners, anyone who have helped me with the podcast, been a guest, talked about it, shared it with anyone. I appreciate you all. It really means a lot to me. Words can't express the gratitude that I have for you. So thank you for that. And on the episode that me and Jay Bird had recorded, it was about 2 hours long, actually, and it was really, really good. Her and I talked about the stages in our life that we both are in. I'll be 40 in about 4 to 5 business days here, and she's also 40. And we talked about a lot of the things that me and her have gone through. And unfortunately, that episode, for some reason, I had some technical difficulties and I was unable to retrieve retrieve the data for some reason. It was weird. So at some point, Jay Bird and I will come back to that and re-record that episode because um, women can definitely relate because we're going to really go in depth of, just some similar things that we've gone through in the 40 years that we've been here on Earth. And speaking of Earth, today is September 23rd, and today was supposed to be the rapture. And for some reason, it just did not happen. Some people were disappointed. Me myself, I just said I'm okay if the good Lord said I need to be here for another 5 to 6 business years, then so be it. Whatever He wants me to do, I'm going to be here, and I'm okay with still being here. So today, just for the record, guys, if this is found in space somewhere in time on September 23rd, 2025, the rapture did not happen. So, anywho, I would like to say that season 7 of the Positive Vibe Enthusiast will not be the same as it was in season 6, because season 6 was all about making sure we are taking care of our mental and physical health. And I am going to assume that everyone has been working diligently on their own, um, how do I say it? Their own journeys. I'm going to take for granted that everyone is really working on themselves and finding ways to uh, get a good rhythm for themselves. Um, like for me myself, I'm a person that if I feel as though I'm not being as disciplined in my um let's and like for right now I haven't really been walking as much as I used to. I still make it a point to park very far from places to make sure I get my steps in. But as far as, being outside, walking my 5 miles a day like I was doing for many, many years, I have not been doing that lately. And that is something that I plan on making that more of a habit again, getting back out here in nature and making the walks a part of my everyday life. So I have to hold myself accountable about that. So that is something that I recognize, and that is something that I can easily correct. And I have this self awareness about that. And I want to make it clear that when you work on your mental health and you work on whatever habits you want to take on for yourself, it's going to be a battle to maintain it. You have to maintain it. Um, that's it's very important. And if you go astray, be kind to yourself. Like, it is okay. It's going to be times where you may actually fall off, and it's okay. Just be proud of the fact that you recognize it and you take time to correct it, and you work on maintaining the correction until it just becomes a part of yourself. And you just do that with anything in your life, because things change, and the person I am today is definitely not the person I was um a year ago or even a month ago. So yeah, things change in an instant, and I really hope that everyone is, being adaptable and flexible. But in season 7, I'm just going to really just talk about, things that are happening in my real life. I plan on being a lot more open, and I really look forward to, hearing what's going on with you all. This is a conversation. I really want this to be clear. Like, my podcast is a conversation. So please leave comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. Let me know. Let's have a conversation, because dialogue definitely needs to happen. And one thing I would like to talk about is what's happening to our Hispanic brothers and sisters here in America. This is absolutely terrible. And I would like, my Hispanic brothers and sisters to know that I stand with you all, and I pray for your safety and that your families can stay together and be protected during these tough times. And I encourage everyone to, even if you agree with what's happening and you agree with ICE taking the Hispanics, undocumented, people away, and being able to just, stop people, and just based off of them looking, Hispanic. And I just want everyone to really think about this, because today is the Hispanics. Tomorrow it could be your demographic. Every it has been made very clear that they pick and choose who's going to be the how do you say it? Who's going to be the one we pointing at this time. I've lived through them pointing at people from the Middle East during 9/11. I lived through that. And then now it's all the Hispanics. And it just really just doesn't make any sense to me, because you allowed all these people in. You allowed them to build your homes. You allowed them to build your business. But now they have to go. For what? For racism? Just to be mean to people? Just to step on necks? It's not right. I don't agree with that at all. And I'm actually surprised at how many people do agree with that. I'm actually surprised at how many people use religion and they hide behind religion. They hide their racism behind religion is what I'm trying to say. And I am shocked by that too. So there's a lot of things that I've been shocked about, and I will be talking about those things um as I see fit, because I think it's important. I think it's important to see other people's points of views. And right now, the way of the world is I think it's time to share points of view. So I think season 7 will be me speaking from the heart and speaking on points of views. And I just really wanted to make it clear, my stance on how I feel with anybody that is here undocumented. My whole thing is, if you're here and you're not causing trouble and you're adding to our society, um, then you ain't got no problem with me. That's the way I feel. My ancestors were brought here illegally, and um, somehow, some way, um, I found a way to enjoy it here. So I would want nothing less for my Hispanic brothers and sisters, for them to have opportunity to make a way for their families. But that's my stance, and I just wanted to make that very clear. Also, I have decided to let being 40, I've decided that I am going to do every single thing that I've ever wanted to do. And one of those things was um, making a song. I always said I wanted to be a one-hit wonder. Everybody who knows me, that's close to me, has heard me say this. And this year, I'm not sure if it was like maybe around the springtime, I was invited to a party by a dear friend, and we ended up at a house party. And at the house party, someone overheard hears me, talking about it, and I just happened to be at the same party of the Dom Da Vinci, and he comes over and he's like, "Hey, I got a studio. You should come through." I'm like, "All right." But I actually had to go out of town to Texas for some business. So I'm like, "All right, I'll we'll link up when I get back." So I ended up actually getting in the studio, dropping a few bars. We made a song. He collabed with me. Like, I was just so grateful for that, because that definitely brought me out of my shell. And I just never knew how a song was, made. I knew I always wanted to do music. I used to write a lot of songs when I was younger. I used to write a lot. And it's so funny because maybe earlier, I think it was, no, maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago, I found one of my books of raps. So it's just funny that I was able to make that song, and I decided to, put it out there. And my artist name is Oranovi, is spelled all caps Auranovi, Oranovi. And just check out some of the music. It's it definitely represents where I am right now. I dropped a few dance tracks yesterday, the 22nd of September, for those who, just for document. Me saying dates are funny. But yes, I dropped 6 singles, and they're all dance tracks. And for those who don't know, in my early 20s, I absolutely love to dance. Oh, I love to dance. I love to club. I was definitely a club head. I miss dancing and clubbing. And I don't know what this younger generation is doing, but you guys do not know what you guys are missing from dancing. Dancing used to be the ish. This is how you knew if you wanted to even go out on a date with this man or not. Like, if that man couldn't dance, if that man couldn't stay with me on a dance floor, do you know, like, he just did not even have a chance. Like, it used to be so much fun. So much fun dancing, so much fun clubbing. Totally, totally miss it. And, one day I might stay up long enough so that I actually make it to um the club, so I can actually dance for a little while and, come home and go to sleep. But yeah, I miss clubbing. Anywho, so I made some dance hits because it's remnants of some of my most favorite times in my life, clubbing. So you guys should check it out. So that's something that's I have done, that is on my list of, you know what? I've always wanted to do it. I'm going to do it. So officially, that's what I'm currently doing. So you guys let me know, what are you currently doing? What are you currently doing that you're like, what? I always wanted to do it. So now I'm doing it. You guys got to let me know. Also, I've kind of been noticing that people there's a lot of negativity and aggression out in the ether. And I really want to encourage everyone to not take the bait on, anyone that is antagonizing you to get out of character. Don't allow these people to get you out of your character. That is exactly what they want. You have to go against the programming as best you can. And I really encourage everyone to take time, take breaths. Don't be so quick to respond. I encourage you all to really take time and take care of yourselves. I cannot stress that enough, and take care of each other's and be kind to one another. I've been making a conscious decision, maybe within the last like 2 years or so, like, to smile more. a lot of times, if you're not consciously smiling, people may think you're in a bad mood or you're going through something. So I try to be more mindful of my facial expressions, and through being mindful to smile more, I can honestly say I have seen a complete difference in the way life happens for me, because like even today, so I'm like, oh man, I go out to my car, I'm getting ready to, take a drive, and there's a bubble on my tire. I'm like, geez, like how did that even happen today? I was like really upset about this tire. For not really upset, but just more of like, ugh, I don't know how much this is gonna cost, because as a person, like I'm a low key kind of car girly. So I've had a lot of different types of cars, and this particular tire, I know that is more sportier, so, and it's like low profile Pirellis. I think this tire is gonna be expensive. Like that's what I'm thinking. And I go in, I'm walking into the tire place, and I have a smile on my face, and the gentleman is sitting outside on a bench looking at me, and he cracks a smile and he's like, "Oh, I hope you have better luck than I do." Like that's like what he said to me as I walk in. I'm thinking, well, we'll see. Like let's just see what's going on. So they look at my tire, they're like, "Yeah, absolutely, this can definitely be a blowout. Like you cannot even drive on this. Like we have to get that off of there." I'm like, "All right, how much will it cost?" And he shows me the price, and me and the salesman both are shocked. Like, what? It's like literally half of what I thought it would be. So I'm like super excited. And he's like, "Oh, well, we can't, it's not here. We can put a donut on for you." And I'm like, wait, I can't do that because I ride on the highway quite often, and I can't miss a day with not being able to ride on the highway. So long story short, you guys, I had gave the salesperson a suggestion. I said, "Is there any way you could just give me a loaner tire, order the one that I need, and once the one that I need comes in, I'll come in and you can swap out the tires?" He's like, "I don't know, like, let me talk to my manager." So he goes and talks to his manager and comes back, and sure enough, my suggestion worked and it all worked out, and I was able to get out of there. So my point is, it's just really nice that I kind of really believe my experience that I had today of the tire being half the price, the salesman being open and receptive to me giving him a suggestion to my situation, for him not giving me any back and forth and being receptive enough to be like, "You know what? Let me find out. Let me talk to my manager." That situation could have went all kind of ways. I could have chose to see that bubble in my tire, start to curse, be upset, heated. Here's another thing I have to do. Rah, rah, rah. I could have easily chose that type of mindset. It's always something. You hear people like that. Always something. But I chose not to. I chose to lean into, "Oh, I'm so grateful they were able to give me a loaner at no cost. Oh, I'm so happy that I had all the funds I needed to make sure that I was able to purchase a new tire. No problem." I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I had a salesperson that was nice enough to listen to a suggestion that I had that I think that would help us both out and get me taken care of a lot faster, so he can help that big long line that's behind me. I'm grateful he was open enough for that. I want to be very clear on that too. And I attest that experience to me smiling more. Something that small, me deciding to smile more led me to such an experience like that. And that was just today. And that happens to me every single day. I can go on and on and on about stories like that. And just for me consciously deciding to smile more and to look people in the eye and actually take time and listen to what they have going on. My mom has taught me and instilled in me, you have to give a damn about people. And until everyone gives a damn about each other, we're going to all be damned. I'm doing my part as best I can. I'm being more mindful of my words. And I'm also being mindful of ignoring everything that I'm seeing externally. All these things that are out there. Be mindful of what you consume. The algorithm is feeding you more of what you pay attention to. So be mindful of what you're paying attention to. I'll say that again. The algorithm is feeding you more of what you're paying attention to. So be mindful of what you are paying attention to. If you find yourself in a situation that you feel very uncomfortable, you're not happy, you feel trapped, I want you to know it's as simple as redirecting your attention to what your ideal situation you will want it to be. For example, if you right now find yourself, um, I don't know, if you find yourself in a living situation you don't want to be in, like for whatever reason, you don't like your living situation. I want you to go expeditiously. Get you some paper, get you a pen. You can always get a paper, you can always get some pen. And I want you to write down your dream house. Be extremely detailed about your dream house. Oh, it's so nice that I just got to walk into my beautiful home. My beautiful mahogany floors were just buffed and shined to the core. I really love my housekeeper. I really liked what the landscapers have done with the landscaping for the winter months. I love what they're preparing me for. I love what they have done to make sure my front yard looks great during the winter months. It was so nice to see that all my guests had a bedroom to sleep in and a bathroom of their own to use during their stay at my home. Whatever it is, be very detailed. You get my point. I don't want to keep rambling because, again, this was not the original episode that was planned for the season 7 opener of the Positive Vibe Enthusiast, but this definitely gives the vibe of how this season will be. This season will be me just sharing what's going on currently in my life. And currently in my life, I am Tashi. I am Orinovi. I am behind the funky millennial, the clothes, and the behind Moye, the artwork that's coming. So there's a lot going on, and I am grateful to have you guys here with me, and I'm happy to show you all, what I have to offer. And I can't wait to share more and hear from you all. I'm going to have Jay Bird back as soon as possible because that is just crazy that we were unable to release that episode because it's a very important one. And like I said, for us women of a certain age, our bodies are changing and there are a lot of conversations that need to be had. So I appreciate you all for listening if you made it this far. And as always, I like to end these episodes on a positive note. And I want you to know no matter what and when I say that's anybody that's being very negative and, just being an energy vampire and just hating on your on your parade. I want you to know that you are loved, you are supported, and as long as you are on this side of the dirt, you matter. And it is important that you take care of yourself, because you have to, we all got to finish out the missions and the assignments that were given to us when we got here. So I am rooting for you all, and don't let them tell you any differently. That's all I'm trying to say. You're great. Be great, as my lovely friend Jen always says. And as always, have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Positive Vibe Enthusiast. Love you. Peace.